Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today for this Socrates Lunch and Learn webinar. My name's Donald O'Neill. I'm the head of marketing for Clanwilliam Health, and with me, as always, I have Louise Murray, who is our support team lead for Socrates. So today's webinar is about new functionality in your Socrates system, which is currently being rolled out, and Louise is going to do a quick demo of the new functionality and run through it. If you have any questions, please do type them in. You'll see on the right hand side of your screen, there's a little questions tab. If you type your question in there, it'll come through to me. I will put them to Louise at the end of the session, or if they are relevant to what we're talking about right now, I'll ask her now and try and confuse her a bit, and we'll have a bit of fun. But please do ask any questions, and we'll do our best to answer as many as we can. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the controls over to Louise, and Louise is going to start with her overview of the new functionality in Socrates. So Louise, that should be on its way to you now. Sorry, 2 seconds, that's my fault. So it should be on its way to you now.
Okay, lovely, thank you. Can you see my, oh no, not yet. Can you see my screen now?
Can now, yeah, good to go.
Hello everybody. Right, so I'm going to go through what's new in this version, but I'm also going to go and show you some stuff that's new in the previous version that some people might not realize is there. So first things first, I just wanted to explain a few things. So this is your Socrates home screen. So if you don't see the home screen come up straight away, you can just click on home and it will bring you it here. So after this webinar, Donald's going to be publishing it on the training webinar. So if I click on that, it'll bring you straight to YouTube, our YouTube channel. And then this one here will bring us straight to the Socrates website where all of our manuals are. So I'm just going to click on view more here for a quick moment. And from here, you've got like new releases. So for example, there's the last version that came out. If you're trying to locate something, you can type it over here on the right-hand side, and it will bring you and show you all of the manuals and videos based on that. So there's a video, and manual. Then we also have just another thing I would like everyone to take note of is just in your report section, just check to see if you've any updates available. At the moment, I have 2. So some of you might have none, you might have 4, 2, some of you might never download your reports and have 100 of them. So it's a good idea to keep them up to date. So if I click on 2 updates available, you can see I've got 2 there. And if I want to just install one, I click on that. But if you've got a good few, you can just click on this grayed out checkbox up here, click on it twice, and as you can see, it's checked both of them, and you can see names of the reports, when they were published, status is ready. So as soon as I click on install, you can see they're all going download and installed. So it's very quick. Then we also, every so often, just if there's, we send out some notifications to you, you might notice. So 6 notifications in my one. So I have 7 Socrates news updates. So from here, if I click on that, as an example, here is the video, or here is a manual on what the new features are in the last version. These are all the other ones. We also send out news for people, like for example, last week when HealthLink were doing an update, we sent you some news just to kind of let you know. HealthLink already told you, but it was also just kind of an added for you so that you knew from the system. Now, so this we'll go through the actual new features in the system now. So first things first, I'm going to show you the alerts. So patient maintenance, open patient. I'm going to go into a test patient here. Test 113. So from here, we've got the alerts. A lot of you might know it's already there, but in this new version of 2853, you'll all have it in very soon if you don't have it already. Down here at the bottom left-hand corner, you have a new alert called prescriptions. Appointments, accounts, consultation, and prescriptions, or prescription is the new one. So under prescriptions, you can type in an alert. So whatever it is you might want it to say. I'm just going to type in anything just so you can see what happens. I'm going to click on save. Now another thing that's been added in this version, appointments alerts have always, well, not always been there, it's been there for many years, but it's now including if someone calls up to get a prescription refill, it will come in here as well. So if I just type in appointments, so say if you have a patient that they're calling up to get their prescription refill, the person that an admin in reception fills in the refill, it goes to the doctor, and the doctor realizes, you know what, the next time that they come in, or the next time they request a refill, I actually need them to come in, I need to review their meds with them. So the doctor can type in an appointment alert in here saying, next refill, need to review drugs, appointment needed, right? So something like that, if I could spell things right. So save that. And then you've got your accounting alerts, consultation alerts, so they're just normal ones. So I'll show you what will happen now after we try and do a prescription refill. So this test patient has called up and they said, I want my prescription refill, please. So the person at reception goes prescription, refill request, click on the button with the 3 dots, and here is the patient that I'm talking to. And then as you can see straight away, it says next refill, need to review drugs, appointment needed. So now the person who's taken the refill realizes, oh, actually test 113, you need to actually come in first before I can give you the prescription. And then at that stage, the person can come along and say, you have to come in first before you can do the prescription, and the person can book in the appointment like normal. So there is that. The next thing is, I'm going to just show you, this has been in here a while, but I'm going to show you in the control panel, admin console, categories and templates. So this is for your SMS templates. In here under SMS template, when you have all your previous ones created, you have the option of filling in first name, surname. So when the person is sending a text, you can get their first name, surname to automatically come in by default. Close this here. Now, that was kind of relevant for the next part. I'm going to show you a finder tool, but before that, I'm just going to show you an SMS template option. So this has been in Socrates for a couple of versions, but I think people don't realize it's here. It's pretty good. So you have ICPC codes and ICD-10 codes in patients' charts, and sometimes you're trying to run reports based on, I want to find everyone that has these 6 ICPC codes constantly. It's probably the same, you might run the same type of report the whole time. So you don't want to have to keep searching for the ICPC or ICD-10 codes, bringing them into the report. That would be the one the most commonly used would be the patient with multiple conditions. So if you wanted to find out, oh, I want to know everyone that has the asthma codes. And then you would search for it, okay, asthma. And then you would go to the next one, just in case some doctors over the years might have been using ICPC2, and now everyone's using ICD-10, so there's a mixture, so you can do both. So this is normal. This report has been here for a long time. So instead of having to, and then you have more codes, you might want to know everyone that's asthmatic, diabetes. So a perfect example would be, I want to return everyone that has a chronic disease. So there's a template list. So I've created one in here called CDM. So I'll just show you what happens when I select the CDM one and go add. It's automatically brought in all my CDM codes for me rather than having to go add asthma, add heart failure, add chronic heart disease. Instead of having to add and search for each one, you can have a base template already created. So if I was to run that report there now, it will return everyone that has one of those codes. So I'll just show you how to create one of these templates. So over here on the left-hand side, you've got coded templates. So there's just 2 in my test Socrates. There's diabetes and there's CDM. So in here, I have created a CDM template and I've put in all the codes. So I'll just show you how I've done it. I'll kind of make I'll half make one. CDM, I've called it CDM2 just for showing purposes. So save. So now I've got a template called CDM2. And over here on the right hand side, I've got types CDM or ICPC2 and ICD-10. So I want to return everything, so I'll go through all of the codes. So OR98, I just have, or OR95, I have this in front of me, so most people won't know these offhand, but you can search for the word instead as well. So asthma, and it will search for, you can click on the button, search for them in here. So ICPC2, and then I'm only going to do a few of them. So I'll do asthma and I'll do K78. What is that? AFib, or no, K90 or 78, yeah, AFib. So then you can then say, all right, I'm also want to include ICD-10 codes. So from here, I'm going to do asthma again. And there's just, as you probably all noticed, that there's a lot more ICD-10 codes than there are ICPC2. So if you find that your practice uses a lot of these different variations of the asthma codes, you can include your one in your template. So I'm going to put in the other conditions. So I'll just put in G45, and that is this one here. So yeah, so you know what, you find out what chronic disease codes the doctors uses. Now there's some, the one that I have here under the one that I created earlier, these are the ones that are commonly used. So if you wanted to create your template, you can just look back on this video and just kind of pause here so you can add those codes in. And if you find then also your doctors are using extra ones, you can include them in your one. So now I'm going to close that. So if I want, so that's the same thing again. So patient with multiple conditions, your criteria like normal, and your base template. So there's the CDM2 one that I'm just after creating, and go add, and these are the ones that I've quickly created in that one. So this is, yeah, so that's been there for a while, but people didn't quite register that it was there. So the next thing I'm going to show you, which is one of the biggest features created, and I think it's really good, and I hope everyone else finds it useful. So from here, we've got my control panel, and we have the Finder tool. So this is based on reports, multiple reports. So as an example, you might, just off the, yeah, so there's an example. You want to find out the most commonly asked one. I think there's going to be actually a report already on this, but this is just an example of one we can do here. So you want to return everyone that is between 18 and 100 that has a chronic disease, but you want to exclude everyone that already has been registered on CDM. So you want to see everyone that should be on CDM but is not on CDM. Now in my Socrates, I have a lot of random patient information. So mine's going to come back with a lot of data that looks there's a bit much of it. So from here, I'm going to go, first of all, I'm going to find out everyone that's in the age bracket. So full patient listing. So new list, patient, full patient listing. From here, you can choose your criteria, 18 to 100. And what I'm going to do is, just because I have a lot of stuff in mine, I'm just going to put mine a bit shorter, because I'll have thousands and thousands of information coming in on this. So just for showing purposes, but you'll choose whatever criteria you want. I want to return everyone that's between that's 65, and I can also then choose, I want everyone that's GMS. So GMS, and say okay. Okay, so I have only a few. Actually, I might do that again. So this is actually quite good, because I've made a mistake, so I want to create a new one, right? So if I wanted to start again, I just go new list and start again. It'll just clear out everything I've done. So patient, full patient listing. I just want to do everyone that's 65. I don't have a whole lot of GMS patients in my test Socrates, so just going to do everyone. So we'll pretend that it's returning all only private patients for our report example. So as you can see here, it's returned 721 patients, and it's saying out of those 721 patients, 2 of them have a mobile number. These are all the patient names and addresses and so on. So if I wanted to return everyone that is between the age bracket of 18 to 100, in our example that are GMS. Let's just pretend that's what I'm after running. I want to then remove everyone that's already on CDM. So I want to see who's left over that I would probably need to get in contact with to say, you have a chronic disease, come in, we need to do visits and stuff with you. So I want to remove, and I want to return patients that have chronic disease reviews due. So it's basically, I want to, anyone that's due a CDM visit in the next year, I don't need them to come, they're already on CDM, so I don't need to return them again. So I want to remove everyone that has CDM already done on them. So there's 721 currently. So I'm going to go okay. And right, okay. I was running this earlier, but I couldn't remember what criteria I run. I'm going to start again. Sorry. So find your tool.
Louise, we've had a question in that might help just this, and it asks, can the finder tool be used to search for under 6s or for over 70s who have no GMS/DVC? So could that be an example?
So say that, reply that back to me again.
Can the tool be used to search for under 6s or over 70s who have no GMS number?
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to go patients. I want to return everyone that is under, so that's 5 and under, so 6 and under, so 6 and under, right? So between ages 0 and 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's returned 95 people in my test Socrates.
Okay.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to run this report twice because I didn't do the GMS part right. So I want to return everyone that's under 65, but at the same time, I also want to return everyone that's over 75. Is that right?
Over 70.
Over 70. So then I want to add onto this report, I want to add full patient list, and I want to add everyone that's 70. Sorry, you said 70, didn't you?
Yeah. So yeah, I get you.
So that's 70 and 100, okay? So if I say okay to that, I have a lot of people that's over 70.
Okay.
It's now adding all of those together on this one report. So there's 12,466.
Okay.
But you were saying that that is down as private, so that they don't have a GMS card. So they're private, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just pretty much run that report again. So, so to start from scratch. So I'm basically ignoring the report that I've just ran. If I was to just do this from scratch, I go new report, patient, full patient listing. I want to return everyone that's between 0 and 6 that is a private patient or whatever type that you have in your system, and say okay. And then I want to add patients also that are over 75, so full patient listing. And I want them to be 75 and 100. I don't want all, I just want to return the private ones and say okay. Yeah. And then that will include everyone in that age bracket. So I just have a lot of older patients in my Socrates. But yeah, so that'll include both of them. So then from this, you can do a few different things. You can send off a bulk SMS to all of these patients. So you can go bulk SMS and it will send a text. Now, mine don't have many mobile numbers, but you can send a bulk text. You can also go group alert. So that will be, you can add in one of those alerts that I was showing you at the start, an appointment alert, a consultation alert, whatever it is. So let's just pretend whatever reason that you needed to bring this criteria in that we search for, we want to, I don't know, book an appointment in for them. So what you can do is go group alert. You want to put in an alert under their appointment alert to say they need an appointment. So you can go appointments, and I can go appointment for reason X. So that means when they call, the person can have a reason why they're coming in. They could have that in under an account alert instead if they wanted to, or a consultation, or whatever the reason is that you're trying to return this age bracket, 6 and under and 75 and over. Yeah. That will go into those 8,974 patients.
And that will be similar to what you showed with the prescription of this patient needs an appointment before their next repeat, is it?
Yeah,
like, yeah,
exactly.
cool.
So that'd be one of those. So another one example that people have a lot of is, well, just not a lot of, this is one example off the top of my head. I want to, actually, I'll just show you what's happened to one of those group alerts. If I go into Anne Adams, so patient maintenance, open patient, Anne Adams. No, spelled Adams wrong. I can see there is an alert added into her chart.
Gotcha.
And if you are finished with it, you've done what they've asked, you can go delete or resolve and it'll go away from this list. So if I was to book in an appointment, or it's coming down with the alert saying appointment for a reason, and if I do a prescription alert, it will do the same thing. It'll come in that section. So the find patients, right? So another example that would be used that I can think of is you want to find out all the pregnant women in your system, and you want to find out of all these pregnant women, are they on a certain drug? I'm just getting this off an example that someone mentioned before. So everyone that is pregnant that's on Keflex, because maybe they're not meant to be on Keflex, or for whatever reason. So I'm going to run the new report on this. So this is just, so I'm going to go new list, and it's going to wipe down what we've already done. It's not going to start from scratch. So I want to return all the active pregnant women. So I'm just going to go active. You can choose whatever criteria you want. I'm just saying that they're active, they have an active one. So in here, these are all my active pregnant people. And I want to find out I want to have commonality. Who is also in that, who also is on one of these drugs? So intersection. So what that means is I'm going to find out everyone that's on a separate, on Keflex, and then it's going to compare with the report that I've just ran and find out what's common, who's pregnant and who is on this common drug. So I'm going to go run that report. So patient, prescriptions, Socrates search. And I want to return everyone that's on Keflex, so KEF. And I'm going to use, doesn't matter which one I use because it's going to return all of them. And then it doesn't matter what age bracket or anything like that, because I don't really mind what it returns, because it's going to check a commonality. So it's running a report to see everyone that's on that drug, and then it's compared it with the drug that I have, or it's compared it with the report I just ran to find out everyone that is pregnant. So out of those two patients, out of all those pregnant women, 2 of them are on Keflex. So maybe this patient isn't meant to be on Keflex for whatever reason. So you might, maybe you might need to book an appointment for them. You might need to just put in an alert into their chart to say, oh, they're on Keflex, they're not meant to be on it. So if I just highlight both of them, I can go group alert, and I can put in a prescription alert to say, check, do they need to be on Keflex? So that's the next time they come in. So after adding an alert for that, maybe you realize, you know what, actually Siobhan and Suzanne, I need to bring them in for an appointment to discuss. They are on this drug, and I want them not to be, I want to just bring them up and have an appointment. I can double click on her name and it'll bring us straight into her chart. And I can book an appointment. So I can go consultation, add appointment, and I can find who is available, or just choose a date that they're available on a certain time frame. All right, she is available. I'm free tomorrow. I'll call her up and see, all right, is she free? Yeah, grand, 9 a.m. I'm booking the appointment for her. So now that's on the appointments for her. I could have also sent her a text if she had one, so group alert, or sorry, send SMS, but none of these people have a text or have a phone number. If you realized, you know, someone's actually put the phone number, the mobile number in under home phone, or you actually do know her phone, you can go into her chart from here and you can go surname, first name, and you can say, all right, her number is, and save and close that. And then when I go back into the one, it's refreshes here. It's live refresh basically.
Cool.
So I'm just going to show you what happens there. I'm after adding in a group alert into this person's chart, so I just wanted to show you what happens. So here is Siobhan, and she's come in, and I want to do a prescription on her. I want to print this off. She might have more drugs. Print. So now there's actually an alert coming down saying check, do they need to be on Keflex? So it's just an alert for everything. And then the doctor goes, oh yeah, you should probably not be on Keflex because you're pregnant. And if the alert is not valid anymore, you can just click on the X or complete it. So that's that particular option on it.
Two quick questions, Louise, have just come in on the kind of Finder tool in general. Firstly, just around the alerts thing. If there is an alert for a prescription, I think that's what you just showed there, that does appear when you try to book the appointment. So if you have a prescription.
An alert for the prescription. So there's an appointment alert and there's a prescription alert. When it comes to the prescription refill, it's based on the appointment alert.
Okay.
And then the prescription alert is just based on when you're actually doing a prescription, actually physically printing it off. That's when that alert comes out.
Okay, cool. And then, sorry, another one just on the Finder tool in general. Is it possible to use the Finder tool to search for people who haven't attended the practice for, say, 5 years or 10 years or whatever that might be? Can it search those people too?
Yeah, so that's just my control panel, Finder tool. I think so. Let me just see here. Appointments, patient. So patients that have not had an appointment in X number of years. Okay, let me see here.
Exactly.
Just check to see there's something here. So the reports that you see in here, they're some of the reports that you see in the report section. So let me see here. No, it doesn't have that option in it.
Okay, it might be something we look at down the line.
Yeah. Now, so yeah, that's the Finder tool option. So you can have one report and you want to, let's just pretend you want to return everyone that has been coded with asthma. So you would run the report, new report, patient with multiple conditions. Patient with multiple conditions, and you'd say everyone that's asthmatic, return them. Then you can then, I'll just run that one actually. ASTHMA. Okay, so I'm going to return everyone that has been coded with asthma. So we have 3,057. And then you may also want to return everyone that is on an asthmatic drug. So you can go prescriptions, Socrates search, and add in all of your asthma drugs. So then that will be one long big list of, okay, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Ventolin. Okay, so I'm just going to say Ventolin as an example, but you can add in whatever ones you have, and you want to then return everyone that's on Ventolin. So then you can have that. So run that. You can use your age criteria. So then it will be one large report that has everyone that's on Ventolin, and you then might decide, you know what, I actually want to remove everyone that's has an appointment in the coming weeks. So remove all patients that have an appointment due between dates. So there's this report, this Finder tool is like, there's multiple ways of running it. There's so many scenarios that you could run on that. It's probably one of those things you kind of have to look at and fiddle around with it to understand more how useful that can be for you. But there are just some examples of what you can do with that. So I'm going to go with, and I was going to go to the next section here now, but yeah, that's something you probably want to play around with yourself, just so you understand how it works. So if I just close this section here. Oh, actually one thing, see how there's a checkbox beside each one of them? If you decide you don't want these ones included, you just untick people that you don't want. And then you can go your group alert, and it's just minus the people that you've unchecked. Right, so the next thing I'm going to show you is the prescription section. So in here we've got the test patient, test 1113. And I am going to go to the prescription section. So you can see here we've got our drugs, and as you can see here we've got control drugs, standard drugs, long-term drugs, standard drugs, PRN, and long-term. So if it's a control drug, you can see it here. Some people have this option turned on, so I'm going to turn on this option here where you can, it kind of groups them into sections. So this has been here for many years, this thing that I'm going to turn on, but it's just the control is now included in it. So edit, preferences, the prescription tab, and then group by categories on to print view. So I'll just say okay to that, and I'm going to just close this chart, and I'm going to reopen it so I can just show you the changes. Prescriptions, and then as you can see now they're in headings. So long-term, PRN, and standard, they are in there already, but this control one is a new one that's been included here. So another thing that is in the newer version of Socrates, so when someone is getting their COVID vaccine, ADI schedule vaccine. So from here, we have another field that you need to fill in on it. Sorry, one second now. Yeah, ADI schedule. Choose what one you want. So for example, if it's just the COVID Pfizer shot 3, immunocompromised, this is, there's this option here, immunocompromised assessment. So they are immunocompromised or they're no longer immunocompromised. So if you were to choose another one of these, like say the Pfizer booster, then you would have to choose if they're immunocompromised or not. So that's included in that section here. Another thing that has come that's new, search. So when you search for somebody, you can now search for their email. So support at Clan William. I could spell right. So you can search for their email address now. So in our test patients, we have a few. So in under test 1113, in here, I have an email address. So if there is an email address for a person under documents and letters, email letter will default to the patient's email address. So to show you here, I closed out of my email, so I didn't want people messaging me while I'm talking to you. So yeah, that is, it'll default to that, it will default to, if they have an email, it'll default to that. So 1 second, I'll do that again. So email letter. Right. Sorry, I shouldn't have opened my emails. There's just so much beeping going on. Sorry, that's really distracting. So then if I go to documents and email letter, it's defaulting to the that's the email address that I have included in this. So that is that. Also, when just things to note, when you are doing when you're doing your chronic disease management and you're filling in your bloods, NA means not available in your lab and doesn't mean it doesn't mean not applicable. So NA beside your bloods, that stands for not available and does not mean not applicable. So if you have it, you include it. Let me see here now. So I've gone to prescriptions, vaccines, documents, reports is done. Yep. Oh, in the claim tracker section, it's just kind of an added thing. So a lot of the time, some people are fixing, maybe there's errors which are COVID vaccines or errors for your CDMs that you're fixing, things like that, or you're going into patients' charts. So claim tracking, when you make a modification in a chart, so maybe you've resent this as an, no, I'll go with welfare research. You fix this here and it's just still appearing here. The refresh button there's a refresh button here now that you can press to see the changes. Also from the immunization section, I'm going to go back, menu. Okay, I don't have one, but you can open up the patient's chart from here now. You also have up here at the right hand side, you have a count. This is also new. You didn't have a count there originally. And also in under the, so my control panel, result viewer, you have in here the option of seeing what your default HCP is, and also if you have a co-op message for a patient, I don't have any, you highlight it, the co-op message goes here, and you can add a task here to that section. And yeah, there's just an easier filter also for your referral responses. You can then select if there's a referrals in here, because it was kind of awkward to see if you had like 100 referrals in here. It was kind of awkward to try and figure out what ones are for you. So now you have a filter that will allow you to select just your own. So that's pretty much it. The Finder tool is probably one of the biggest things, and I feel like that one is, people are going to find that very useful for various reasons. Over in a few months, you'll probably notice that you're going to start using it and find it very useful.
Yeah, it seems really powerful, Louise. Look, that was great. Thanks a million for that. We've had a few questions come in, and I will say not all of them related to what you've shown. So this will be kind of rapid fire. Let's test Louise's knowledge here, but let's go through them as quickly as we can and see how we get on. First off, someone was changing details on their letterhead and they accidentally deleted the date on their letterhead template. How do they get it back? Do you know?
My control panel, admin console, system types, and you got your letter template. So you just open up your letter, so highlight it and go edit, and it'll open up in Word. So from here, it's not anything in Socrates per se, it's the actual in Word that you'd put it into. So it's up in under add-ins, no, sorry, insert, quick part, field, and then it's the create date. So create date and not date. Okay. There's an option for date, but it's create date. So create date. So the date you create the letter, that's the one that you want to put on create date. And then that will fix that.
Cool, awesome. Okay, next one, is it possible to add a free text item to a patient's prescription?
So like a custom, so if I go into test 1, 2, 3 here and I'm adding a prescription, it's going to begin a consultation. So if I wanted to type in warfarin, this is an example, a lot of interactions. Additional instructions.
Okay.
I don't know, take with milk. Some random, something that's not a common instruction. I think that's what they're saying. So if I go finish to that, and I can see there's a take with milk option. So print, preview. Just gonna go GMS. No, 1 second. I'm after doing that a bit backwards.
Sorry, Louise. I appreciate I'm throwing these at you.
No problem. I know. I clicked on. I'm gonna.
Sorry. The question asker has come back to say a free text medicine / appliance is what they're looking to add. Do you know?
Oh, right. Okay. That's just basically a drug that's not on their drug database. Just
Whereas
make sure that you're on the latest drug. You can't just add one. It has to go into the drug database. So to create a drug in the drug database, you go My Control Panel, Admin Console, and Drugs, and you
Okay.
basically fill the information in on it and go next.
And would that be, could you add in, say, a specific, say, stoma care item in there or something that wasn't on the drug list, really? Like to tell the pharmacy that they need to give that, I think, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then just to check that you're on the latest drug update, but everyone gets drug updates roughly once a month. When you go add new and add a drug, you can see up here at the top left hand corner, it says the year and the month. So this is June 2022. So most people are on that drug update at the moment. So if you're missing something, it probably does exist. And yeah.
Sure. Okay, no, cool. Look, I think that's answered it. Thanks a million. And moving on, so I think this was related to the emails that you were sending out, Louise, and it's a question of, can you password protect a PDF that you will be sending? Can you do that directly from the patient chart?
No, you can't password protect a PDF via it. You'd have to have some password protection outside of it and then attach it in if you want to do it that way.
I get you. Yeah. So you do it and then add it back in that way. And then, do you know if childhood immunizations can be sent through Socrates yet?
No, that's not a part of it. So it's
Okay.
anything that gets added into the system has been coordinated. Like say for vaccines, anything that gets added into the system gets coordinated with the HSE. So that's not been asked to create, or they haven't. Yeah. So basically, no, it's not incorporated in.
So your best bet, Marie, there is to get onto the HSE and ask them, can they add them, and we will be happy to accommodate. And then lastly, I think just a question around printing receipts after charging for a patient. How can you, do you know how to do that?
Print receipt after charging. So say if you have charged someone in their account, okay, so here's one here. I don't know why you're paying for the flu. Anyway, so I'm gonna make a payment and make payment, and I haven't printed off the receipt. So if I go to history and highlight the payment, I can go print receipt, and then it will go. So highlight and print receipt. Now, if it's something different, like a card receipt or something like that, you can't. If that person has a BOIPA card machine that they've got integrated through Socrates, you can't reprint one of those receipts, but you can only print off Socrates receipts.
I get you. Yeah. And it's the same with Blink as well. They will do the receipts for you as well there too if you're using that. Look, that was great, Louise. Sorry for throwing random questions, but I just said when we had everyone on, we might as well get through as many as we can. Look, as always, everybody, I think thanks a million for joining. Hopefully you found it useful. If you do have any additional questions, feel free to drop me an email or Louise or into support, and we can do our best to answer them there. But huge thanks to you, Louise, for running through it. Hopefully everyone here will find the new functionality useful. I think the Finder tool is going to be a game changer for everybody. And again, thanks to everybody for joining. This video will be added to YouTube probably this afternoon. And again, it'll be there, as Louise showed you, from your home screen. You can click through to it and it'll be there for you to watch back whenever suits. So huge thanks to everyone for attending, and huge thanks to Louise for running through it. And all the best. Hope everyone has a great day. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.